What's good, everybody? Welcome in to the Early Edge. It is February 1st, 2023. How did we get here? This is your daily sports betting brand of record. We are powered, as always, by the almighty SportsLine, the best value in all sports betting. And it's not close this morning. A tip of the cap, maybe two tips of the cap, as the GOAT, the greatest quarterback of all time, Tom Brady, this morning on social media announced that he will be retiring at the age of 45, 7 Super Bowl titles, and so many different memories. But this one is for real, according to Tom Brady. Now, we are the most transparent show in all of sports betting as well. Before we look forward, we must always look back. And my man, EC, is going to get crushed on the afternoon show today. But when you lose games, you want to do it in spectacular fashion, right? Well, how about Vanderbilt? 101 to 44. 101 points, and they didn't even get to the over. Clemson, worst shooting night of their entire season. They barely got to 50. That's how you lose a game. Spectacular. Now, you guys have made our new golf show that we are now calling, that's right, the Early Wedge. Today, 3 p.m. Eastern time, we will break down best bets, props, whatever you want. We cashed a winner last week at plus 2,200 with my man, Max Homa. So that's today at 3 p.m. Eastern time, same channel. Turn on your notifications. The second we start the show, you will be notified. All right, with all that being said, let's bring in the stars of the show. When I have these two, I don't need anybody else. First and foremost, live from Nashville, Tennessee, the penthouse level. M Squared, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, Buckets. Good morning, everybody out there. Fired up for today. Got a big college basketball slate for a Wednesday. We got the NBA big slate today, and then, of course, whatever Buckets has going on.
No, he has a lot going on. Look at my man over there. Every day, you look like you've gone shopping. You're getting some new clothes, like you're stepping up your game. Is that true?
Making a couple upgrades here. You know, we keep talking about the hinge scene. I got to make sure that I'm presenting my best self on these apps. But it's great to be here with you, Coach, and with you, M Squared. Excited to get into it.
It's pretty obvious that EC did not have a date last night, because on the nights that he does have dates, he's winning at a 71% clip. And he had all those X's on the recap board. So clearly he didn't have a date last night. I don't even want to ask you because we got to get to the show. I don't even want to know if you were up late. I don't want to know what you were doing. I kind of do, but I don't. All right, let's get into it. Storylines that could affect the betting lines today. And you guys know by now, you've heard me ad nauseum say how important it is to pay attention to the starting lineups, understand who's hurt, understand who's out. Sometimes I even make mistakes. But we set the tone first thing in the morning. Mikey, you are up, sir.
Yeah, this one is interesting here on the NBA injury report tonight, mostly because we have 0 teams on the second night of a back-to-back. That is quite rare with the schedule. We also have 3 teams here with 3+ days of rest. That's Boston, Houston, and Utah. So everyone should be relatively fresh across the league tonight. Look for maybe a little better defense in certain situations. For Orlando, though, on the injury report, Wendell Carter Jr. has a foot injury. He is listed questionable. In the same game on the other side, Joel Embiid continues to be listed questionable. I do think he is legitimately questionable here, so monitor that one. For Washington, Daniel Gafford listed questionable. Memphis, Desmond Bane upgraded to questionable, could potentially be back for them. Other news here, Danny Green, the veteran, recovering from a torn ACL, could potentially make the debut here tonight. That would definitely crowd some of the minutes, some of the usage. I assume it would be a pretty hard minutes limit, though, if he does go. For Portland, Yusuf Nurkic, Josh Hart, both upgraded to probable, both good to go for this matchup. Should be a fun one with Damian Lillard and Ja Morant. For Boston, Robert Williams, listed questionable. For Minnesota, Rudy Gobert, Taurean Prince, both listed questionable. And then for the Atlanta Hawks, Trae Young is upgraded to probable, something to monitor. He did miss the last game against the Portland Trailblazers.
And that may or may not be one of our plays this morning. A lot of good matchups, Mikey, tonight in the NBA. You got the Nets and the Celtics. You already mentioned the Blazers and the Grizzlies. The Magic have been playing better. They're playing the Sixers again. So tonight could be a really cool night. 9 full games in the association. Thank you, Mikey. Now, Buckets. It's a new month. And I can think of nobody that wants a new month more than you. On the pitch, ready to go, turn things around a little bit. But it's more than just about the picks. We know that something very important just flashed in our rear view mirror. How important was it and what happened?
We are, of course, talking about deadline day. Yesterday, the transfer window closed. Teams are no longer allowed to trade, sell, or buy players. Whoever you have is who you have until the summer transfer window opens up again later this year. And out of every team that participated in this transfer period, there's one team that had arguably one of the greatest transfer periods of all time. Chelsea FC and their new owner, Todd Boehly, over the past 6 months, spent over 650 million euros on new young talent. In January alone, they spent over 250 million euros picking up players like Mudryk from Shakhtar Donetsk in the Ukrainian Premier League, like Enzo Fernandez, the young player of the year in the World Cup who helped Argentina hoist that cup. Chelsea is a team that all season we've been betting unders, and we've been betting on them to lose because they've been struggling so much. But in the upcoming weeks, we're going to see that turn around massively. So get ready to change how we bet on Chelsea entirely. Give them a few weeks to find their form, to get all the new players in and get them used to playing with each other. But this is a team that is looking to dominate the Premier League for the upcoming potential decade with some of the guys that they just picked up.
That is a storyline. I have a full notebook full of storylines that I go back to and say, okay, and you put it together. It's like a big puzzle. Great storyline buckets. We'll look at Chelsea in 3 or 4 weeks, maybe around March. We'll take a look at them. All right, let's get into our board for the day because we got a busy day and a lot of picks. And don't forget, Early Edge in 5 at 4 p.m. Eastern time where I will crush EC. I promise you that. You don't want to miss that. All right, but before we do, you know, guys are very, very expensive. I got to pay those pesky little bills. Here's a word from one of our incredible partners. Oh, it feels good to be here on a February 1st, being healthy and happy and ready to go. Remember, pay it forward. Do something for somebody else today. And if you are not a SportsLine member, what are you doing? Let's do it right here, right now. Use a promo code EARLY. You have the Super Bowl, all the articles, all the prop, huge Super Bowl thing that RJ talked about yesterday. It's a thing. You can get it all for $0. Then after that, you're playing with house money. So let's go. 3 plays from SportsLine today. The first one, NBA. We already talked about it with Mikey. Hawks, Suns. We're going to go with the Suns, -1.5. The Hawks, when they don't have their engine, when they don't have their guy, when they don't have the person who runs the show, they're not the same team. And the Suns have started to figure out how to play without Devin Booker. We'll take them, small number, -1.5, 10 p.m. Eastern, tip for that. Then college basketball. We're going to go Xavier over Providence. Our simulations at SportsLine have them winning by 9 and scoring 80. Yes, they're coming off a loss to Creighton, so they'll be laser focused. That's what happens when you get into conference season. You take a bad loss, you get refocused for the next game. We love Xavier tonight. Then on the ice, my man Jeff Hockman on SportsLine. If you remember, you already had this play. Boston, last game until February 11th. They'll want to go out on a winning note. So we'll take Bruins low number, money line, -125. So NBA, college, NHL covered by SportsLine. So let's get, speaking of that Xavier game, last night, I believe, Mikey, if my memory serves me correct, you hit not one on social media last night that you posted. Am I right? Totals?
Yes, 5-0 yesterday in the college basketball streets. Yes.
And you're also telling people to look at the lines the night before. Why do you give that advice?
Yeah, I give the advice on looking at the lines the night before, just because you can pick off many of the lines. This game, the markets are so efficient in basketball. The games are relatively easy to project the number of possessions in a game, right? So we bet a lot of these lines. I'll give you an example. Last Saturday, when I ran my numbers on Friday night, I had 32 plays. If you looked at those numbers at 8 a.m. the next morning, it was down to 18. Based off the threshold that I used, that's how many of the lines had moved in less than a 12-hour period overnight. So it happens that way. And then other people look at them like, well, now I'm looking at it 8 a.m. We might have 3 additional games that we didn't have the night before. I get the question, do you want to play those? I personally don't want to play them. That's why I recommend getting to them the night before. The reason why I don't want to play them is the only reason they met the threshold for a play for me is because the market moved it the other way.
Right.
So I don't want to be betting into those strong statements from the market. That's why I like to put everything out the night before, lock all my plays in at that point, and not bet against the market when the numbers move.
Educate and entertain, ladies and gentlemen. That is as good as it gets. Now, Mikey, with that being said, last night was last night. What do you got for us today?
We're going to go with a Big East game here, the Xavier matchup with Providence you mentioned. We're going to go over the total here, over 152.5. I have the simulation all the way up to 160. I think both teams approach 80 points in this game, honestly. Xavier looking for a big bounce back in this particular spot. They get to play at home. They play with one of the quickest paces in college basketball. Home teams in these conference games definitely have a better opportunity to dictate pace of play. This Providence team has shown that they will run and try to score in transition with teams that allow them to do so. That's exactly what Xavier will do. These two teams are top 25 offenses, but they rate 70th and 80th in terms of defensive efficiency, playing with a ton of pace here. The one thing I want to focus on here on the Providence side, they do one thing incredibly well. They get to the free throw line. They're a top 10 team in terms of free throw attempt rate. That's absolutely critical when you're playing as a small road dog in conference. You've got to get to the free throw line if you want to stay in basketball games here. These teams, especially Xavier, strong over team if you like trends. 15-6 to the over this season, but 9-3 to the over when playing at home. I think this number is a little soft as both approach 80. Let's go over 152.5.
This is absolutely my favorite play. I love this kind of play, and also when it makes sense. Oh, my goodness. Brock in the chat just said, did I just go to college? A lot of knowledge from M squared. I've been saying that for years. For years. There's no other place you need to go. It's not just about the picks. It's about the advice. Knowledge is power. You went to college, right, Buckets?
Technically, yes.
You know, Mikey didn't go to college.
I did not know that.
I went and I participated for a while.
You got a participation trophy after 18 credit hours. Oh, man. I think you're doing all right for yourself, my man. All right, Buckets. So I got an email yesterday. True story. And it was with your new contract. And in the new contract, it said that there are certain things that you demanded. Demanded, it said. And one of them is when you're on the show by yourself with somebody else and you go into the last spot, that we call it the bucket seat for you. Demanded. I like you on the show. I like you part of the brand. I can play with that. So, Buckets, it's time for the bucket seat. You're up.
Welcome to the first ever bucket seat. We're going to be betting on one of my favorite leagues to bet and one of Coach's favorite leagues to pronounce. We're looking at France's League. Well, exactly. That's the league we're looking at here. And I've got 2 picks for League this afternoon. And we're starting with one starting at 1 p.m. Eastern time. We're looking at the match between Lille, OSC, and Clermont-Foot 63. And this is one of my favorite betting scenarios in all of soccer. You have 2 tremendous attacking teams, both coming off horrific losses and embarrassing games where they did not score. Neither of these teams, who are averaging well over a goal a game, scored in their last game. So both of them will be desperate to bounce back and will be desperate to find a little bit of form this week because nobody wants to have multiple weeks in a row where you're not finding a single goal. We're looking at both teams to score in this first game sitting at -110. When they played in the reverse fixture just a few weeks ago, it was a close 2-1 game that saw over 40 shots in that game. Expect a similar result here this afternoon. Then for our second matchup, we're looking at the game between Olympique Lyon and Stade Brest at 3 p.m. in France's Ligue 1. And we're once again going with the classic both teams to score here, sitting at -120. Lyon is an incredible team in terrible form. Stade Brest is a terrible team in incredible form. So we're getting this kind of mirror matchup of 2 teams that are usually playing different than how they are, but ultimately we do see goals in this matchup. Lyon has had 18 goals by themselves in their last 9 games, while Stade Brest is coming off an impressive 3-game goal streak, which saw them score against the likes of Angers, Toulouse, and Lens. These teams played just 2 weeks ago in the reverse fixture, and the score was 4-2. I'm not expecting 6 goals in this matchup, but I am expecting to see both teams once again hit the goal sheet.
Big Cheesy says, make him say, good. Yeah. Have you done some research since the last time and figured out who Triple H actually was? Have you done a little research?
I have. I know that he was a wrestler.
Oh my God.
I know that Randy Moss played football, and I know that Mikey went to college for some credit hours. I'm starting to get this all together.
Somebody in the chat said, I didn't think I could like Mikey any more than I already do. But now that I know he's like one of us, yeah, everybody has a different path. Everybody has a different path. But we've all met here together, and we love being a part of the SportsLine universe. That's for damn sure. Even Buckets, who's trying to figure out who one of the biggest stars in the world is. 2 of them, actually. Do you know who Tom Brady is by chance?
I do know who Tom Brady is.
Okay,
yes.
great. Okay, so
he also played with Randy Moss.
And he also played with Randy Moss.
He did.
He actually did.
Oh, I thought when you said that last time it was a joke, so I was like,
No.
You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. Can you tell me, Buckets, what team they played on together?
If I get this right, are we giving away some money to somebody watching live?
You know what? Sure. Whoa. Type in #Bucketheads, and I'll pick one out.
Oh, no.
I don't think you're going to get this.
I expected you to say no. So that's
no.
why
I'm going to. All right. #Bucketheads in the chat. I'll pick one winner if you get it right. What NFL team did Tom Brady and Randy Moss play on together?
Well, as we all here in
hands up, Buckets. I don't want to see you typing in Google over there. I see it.
Sorry. I'm like, as we all know. Yep. Okay. That Tom Brady only played for one club in his NFL career, so it's got to be the Patriots. Minus this last year, Patriots. Lock it in.
Ding, 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 ding,
Yes!
ding, 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 ding. You got it, big boy. You got it. Woo. Mikey, I've never seen somebody so excited to get something that a 2-year-old would have got.
Right?
Literally a 2-year-old.
I will be honest, as Mikey said, put your hands up, I was slowly looking over to my second monitor and typing in Randy Moss. So
we know.
He caught me.
We know. Your eyes dance. I know when you're looking. Mikey knows when you're looking. But somebody just won a cool $100 cold, hard cash. We will pick a winner. I personally will DM you. Put your, I guess it's too late to put the Venmo in there. But you know what? Go ahead. #Bucketheads Venmo. I'm going to pick one at random. And every time we do this, you got to add your Venmo. I always forget that part of it because we can't find you otherwise. All right, Buckets, well done. Well done.
I think that's 2 or 3 questions in a row now.
I think I'm making them too easy, Mikey.
I'm heating up a little bit.
Yeah. Well, we're going to add the spelling bee as a segment every week. That's going to be coming up as soon as football's over because I love doing that. All right, grab your paper, grab your pencil. Here's the recap, courtesy of the Snake. M squared, Xavier, Providence over 152.5. You heard all the reasons why. Then Buckets from Liga, Little Clermont, both teams to score. Lyon, Stade Brest, both teams to score. Then 3 plays from SportsLine. Suns -1.5 over the Hawks. And I would encourage you to get that play in before certain announcements are made about players playing. Xavier -4 over that same Providence team. I would love 80-73 would be fantastic. Then Bruins. Money line, -125. That from Jeff Hockman. Last game before February 11th. And for all of you golf fans, do not forget that our brand new golf show, that in week number 3, we hit a winner at plus 2,200 last week. So me, the counselor, Patrick McDonald today at 3 p.m. Eastern time. And if you want more golf picks, my man M Squared has them at SportsLine every single week. EC has more golf picks at SportsLine every single week. We're a crew. We're a team. We do it together. But we can't do it without you. With all that being said, there's only one thing left to do. And I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. For my entire crew, love them all. M Squared, Buckets, my man Snake, always on the 1s and the 2s. I am the coach. Tell all your friends you want to get your day started off right. Laugh a little bit. Learn a whole bunch. and be included? It's right here. We grind for you so we can win with you. Right here at the Early Edge. Good luck.